The next race, OKN Junior qualifying Heat 2. A reminder of what happened earlier on. The whistle blows and the drivers make their way out onto the circuit. This time it looks like it's all good for Victoria Farfus. Let's take you through the full starting lineup for this one. It is James Anagnostianis ahead of Matthias Wittfer starting this one on the front row of the grid. Sofia Pravaznaya and Connor Clancy go from row number 2. Victoria Farfus and Dinia Ismov round out row 3. They'll have Leonas Peruzzi and Angelina Simmons on row 4. Flavia Caria and Sujana Dandu round out row number 5. They'll have Egon Prodotti and Savria Dudkovsky on row 6. William Marshall and Anna Pazzuto round out row 7. They'll have Casper Reipold and Vanessa Schilkenate on row 8. Niels Malik and Vida Yuland round out row number 9. Marcel Capella and Sanjana Dandu round out the top 20. They go from row 10. Salamat Sui and Isaac Say round out the top 22 on row 11. Zachariah Dole and Amaru Adrinson round out row 12. They'll have Christian Ebras and Ella Hakkinen on row 13. Kate Aziza and Michaela Hart round out row number 14. They'll have Corinne Kaur and Jan Michalesko on row 15. Toby Gale and Axel Nocom round out top 16 rows. They'll have Emilia Vichemieska and Oscar Gallen on row 17. Konstantin Paps and Clelia Sodu round out the 36-car field out on circuit. Well, the intermediate classifications at the moment as well. Vanessa Schilkenate there has not managed to get going. Where's the white line? There's the white line. They don't push her over, and she's out of this race. They might give her another attempt to get it restarted, but I suspect that's attempt number 2 or maybe even attempt 3 there for Vanessa Schilkenate, and that is a big, big shame. And I'm pretty sure for Vanessa earlier on, that she didn't even start the race. Now, yeah, well, she did have a retirement. She dropped down 15 places, so she did start the race. But I think, yeah, it just wasn't the race for her. So that is 2 really not great results there for Vanessa Schilkenate. And that'll be a weekend or first day of racing to forget. Meanwhile, though, the rest of the field have made their way in towards the final part of the track. Just the kink there before the start-finish line, before we get this race underway. And the lights do go green, and we are racing. And it is a great start for Anagnostianis. Once again, that inside row working extremely well as the field breaks away now in towards turns 2, 3, and 4. Down the inside, Victoria Farfus there trying to get down the inside. But Wittfer there trying to hold off, but there's the rest of them. It's all gone wrong in the background. Their drivers trying to avoid, and unfortunately that has resulted in a huge pile up there. So many drivers involved. Capella involved in that one. Corinne Kaur, Axel Nocom again is out in this race. Emilia Vichemieska, Konstantin Paps and Clelia Sodu, unfortunately all out of this race. Farfus this time again to the inside. Gets the move done and moves past Sofia Pravaznaya for 2nd place. Marshals are working as quickly as they can. There you can see Pasquale Lupoli as well, the clerk of the course, trying to get involved to help out the incident there. Yellow flags are coming out as the field are heading into that incident mode now. There are waved yellows, so no overtaking is permitted, but there is! And that's exactly what we wanted to avoid. And Sofia Pravaznaya makes contact with one of the stranded carts on circuit. And again, I just think the yellows were not spotted. She throws her hands up in protest, but the yellow flags were clear as day out on the circuit. And Case Aziza again is off the circuit. Another retirement here. And, well, this is not what you want at all. And, well, their cases are livid. And slow procedures come out. Peruzzi is off the circuit. The live on board shows the frustration from the Emirati. He's out of this race. And again, just heartbreaking for the drivers. That is so many retirements in the early stages of this race. The race has been neutralized. We are under slow procedure, but this is absolutely suboptimal. There again, Peruzzi on circuit, and just sheer disappointment for him there. That is heartbreaking, to say the least. So that's Leonas Peruzzi out of the race. Isaac Say out of the race. Case Aziza out. Christian Ebras out. Sofia Pravaznaya out of this race. Dinia Islamov out, Vanessa Schilkenate, Marcel Capella, Corinne Kaur, Axel Nocom, Emilia Vichemieska, Konstantin Paps, and Clelia Sodu all out of this race. This race that started with 36, a full grid, is down to 23 runners at the end of lap number 2, and Peruzzi's still in his cart. He's not even got, he doesn't even want to get out, and well, that is such a heartbreak for him. He's checking there the carts that are coming around him. How did this all unfold? Right, well, there you can see one of the carts. So there was a spin right at the beginning there, and that, it looks like the 30. Is that Marcel Capella? I think it is Capella, and this is the moment here, and just, well, and that is just not what you want to see at all. And again, this is all under yellow flags. There are yellow flags here, and you've got drivers coming in at full pace, and you can see even more carnage that's unfolding in the background there. Not what you see. This is what happened to Leonardo Peruzzi live on board, and you can see with the slow procedures out, he's not spotted it, and he locks up the rear axle. As you can see there, you can see there's mechanics at the sideline there, kind of waving to say, slow down, you're under yellow flags, you're under slow procedure. And it wasn't spotted, and Peruzzi locks up the rear axle. There you can see it. Oh, so nearly taking out Matthias Witwer there. And, well, not what you want to see at all. So many drivers out of this race in the early stages. And again, as we remain under slow procedure, we still have waved yellows out on circuits. So I believe we are still under yellow flag conditions. We are indeed still under yellow flag conditions. The race has not been restarted just as of yet, as the last of the carts are being cleared away from the incident, the initial incident that happened at turn number 5 at the start of that race. Again, well, those drivers who have retired, of course, not what they want to see at all, but that has helped out a good handful of drivers that managed to get through all of that. Oscar Gallin up into 19th, a gain of 15 places. Michaela Hart, a gain of 12 places into P16. Jan Michalesko up into 15th place, a gain of 15 places. Toby Gale, 17 places gained into P14. Zachariah Dole, 10 places gained, finishing, starting this one at the moment in P13. The same for Sara Matsui, 11 places gained, currently in P10. There, though, the current final standings from James Anagnostidis over the course of this season. A P4 and a third in Cremona. Valencia was a first and a second, a very strong weekend performance there. But in the junior category, like we were saying, we've had 4 different final winners out of 4. Are we going to get a new set over this one? Green flag waves, we are back and racing, and it is a good getaway for Anagnostidis from Farfus, but Farfus is right on that rear bumper still. Witwer under pressure from Clancy. Clancy trying to get back up into 3rd place. This time around is not able to do so. Karian Prodotti still there as well, just behind, have got the pressure. But look at this here, Farfus, Victoria Farfus is piling on the pressure to James Anagnostidis here. She is not able to get the move done though, just as of yet. She stays behind as they now start to go downhill here into the braking zones of turn at number 11 and 12 through that hairpin. Through turn 13 and down the 180-meter back straight they go into the braking zone. Here comes Farfus down the inside. Has she outbraked herself though? Can Anagnostidis get the move back? The answer to that is no, and it is the Brazilian Victoria Farfus who leads the way across the line. And it looking very strong here. Runs a little wide on the exit there of turn number 2, but so does Anagnostidis. Changing the background. Clancy's up into 3rd place. Witwer as well. Trying to take the outside line as defensive goes Clancy for P3, but they stay the same. But it is Victoria Farfus who leads the way, gaining 4 places. It was a disqualification earlier on due no fault of her own. Just at the start, the initial push-off out of the pre-grid over the white line unfortunately resulted in a disqualification, and she did finish on track P3 in that race. So the on-track results have been absolutely superb for Victoria Farfus, and right now the pace here is looking very, very strong. Over the line they go. We go into the final lap of this race, but now James Anagnostidis, championship leader, retakes control of this last qualifying heat before their final later on. Goes defensive in towards turn 5. This is where it all kicked off. in the opening lap of the race, but not this time around as Farfus back down the inside through turn number 7 and reclaims the lead. But now again, here comes Alec Nociadis. Once again, they chop and change their wheel to wheel throughout this, and that's brought in Clancy. Witwer, Prodrotti, now up into P4, has got past. But here we go, down into the final hairpin. Alec Nociadis hugs that inside line. Farfus follows as well. She might have to settle for P2, or maybe not. It's a run to the line, but it is Alec Nociadis across the line by, well, absolutely nothing. 0.058 of a second across the line for Victoria Farfus. That will be her best results of the championship so far this season for the Brazilian. But James Alec Nociadis controlling this weekend. That is his second qualifying heat win out of 2. He will claim the 25 championship points at the end of this one. The pole sitter, now with 2 qualifying heat wins out of 2, goes into the final in the first heat's day of racing on top. He will start on pole then for that final later on today. He'll have Conor Clancy alongside. Matej Witwer and Egon Prodrotti will round out the second row of the grid. Marshall and Pizzuto will round out the third row. Unfortunately for Victoria Farfus, that disqualification earlier on really dropped her down the order in the intermediate classifications, despite the fact that her pace is good. So we expect a really strong performance later on for Victoria Farfus. We'll have a look at the full classifications in a few moments' time for the rest of the field. But right now, that's exactly what you needed for the top 3. James Alec Nociadis ahead of Victoria Farfus, and Conor Clancy rounding out the top 3 on circuit as well. A mighty, mighty cleanup operation is underway. So many karts stricken on the circuit, and there you can just see it in the background of your screen. There's the full intermediate class, or the provisional classifications at the end of that one. Witwer finishing in P5, Marshall finishing in P6 ahead of Flavio Carrier, David Dudkowski finishing in P8 ahead of Sara Matsui, who gained 12 places to finish in the top 10 in P9. Sujana Dandu finishing in P10, very strong result, ahead of Toby Gales, 20 places gained to finish in P11. Vera Yulin from Enna Pizzuto